Hopping directly into Game 3. Let's hope it's lag-free on Shakura's Plateau.
You know, I have not seen as many Terran vs. Protosses on Shakura's Plateau just because of how the, brackets end up working out in a lot of tournaments, but has a ton of potential for some very nice long games. Protosses in particular do like getting good amounts of air on this map because Terrans like to turtle up. They like how easy it is to hold that natural expansion. I'm not really the biggest fan of going for just mass Marine Marauder in sort of like a naked fashion on this map because of the fact that there are those multiple attack paths and the center's kind of closed off. It does appear that Sjow is spawning in the bottom left, and again, you can never have vertical positions on this map, and it looks like in the closest position possible, LaserGaming's Agh is there, and of course there's that little backdoor entrance that leads straight into your opponent's base.
Yeah, and it's really a double-edged sword because you can take down, you can choose to attack through there, but if your attack doesn't work, and granted it's a very narrow choke for an attack, if it doesn't work, then suddenly you have just left the doors open to your own base. So
Yeah.
you'll see players be really cautious about when and if at all they're going to break those rocks and use it as an attacking direction.
Mm-hmm. Very, very good strategies on this map for Terran include doing some sort of Banshee harass and then expanding, because again, it's so safe. And then transitioning into a Marine tank push because of the fact that if we look at Protoss' expansion, Terran can just contain on the outside of this narrow choke and then place tanks up here and begin chewing into this expo.
Yeah, we've also seen some really clever lifts by the Terran right up here to the area that's just above the geysers at the natural. Pop a tank right there. It gets pressure from the front. So I do like this map for a lot of those reasons. I just think it's a really dynamic and great little map. So here we got Scouting Pro's going to make his way over, find his opponent right away. Going to see that barracks right at the front and know exactly where his opponent is. Meanwhile, we do have gas going down, gateway as well for Agh.
Does look like nothing too out of the ordinary. Sjow looks like he's gearing up to maybe begin to wall this off at a later point. Can still potentially do so with this spacing, but just going to be building that Marine, getting the orbital command right off the bat. We see that Agh is not building a Zealot yet. Hasn't started his Cybernetics core yet either. We'll be doing that promptly. One gate expands actually like quite a bit, but we haven't really seen Agh go down that path. Just prefers the one base teching generally.
Yeah, and that's all we've seen out of him so far. Of course, almost expanding in that last game, very late. But then, of course, the cancel as they reviewed in that last matchup. First Marine is out. That supply depot did go down. Second one likely to go down there as well. Now, this probe from Agh has now been put all the way at the top and hidden. I'm going to guess that he's got some reason for doing that we'll find out later on. So keep an eye on that, if you will. We have the Cybernetics core just finishing up right now. Warp Gate research immediately started. Double Chrono Boost, one on the Psy core, another on the Gateway, as we are going to get a Stalker out.
Looks like there's no other energy saved, so I probably wouldn't say that he's going to be going for some sort of 4-gate push. Looks like there's another pylon being thrown down by Agh. Oh, looks like EA is going for an early expansion. Absolutely love fast expo builds as Protoss. And you know this little probe, I don't think that this can ever be bad. Even if in the late game you want to add on 4 gates and you just build them here, it's kind of fun to have the ability to hide your buildings. And also, you know, if you can just build a pylon in this corner, you can really deny late game Terrans' attempts to expand.
Very true. More Marines coming out. The Nexus has gone down for Agh, as he's got a couple units out, a few more following. There's a sentry on its way as well. Warp Gate's at about 50%, so we got another gateway going down as well. Probe up there, still doing nothing. More Marines coming out, and there is that famed Hellion that you talk that Sjow likes so much. And you get these players that play their specific races, and they do have just a undying love for a specific type of unit, and you just see them utilize it in some capacity every single game. In this case, it will be this Hellion. However, blocked up front, but quick reaction as he quickly gets him out of there. We do have the pylon going up there from that rogue probe.
Oh, great placement on that pylon. I love that placement. That one's hard to spot in the later stages of the game. Looks like Cloak Banshee is coming up for Sjow. A whole bunch of Marines just one shot. A poor little probe who just wanted to find out what's up. And Agh, might be succumbing to the classic mistake of an early expanding Protoss not having detection up in time. He needs to get that RoboBase started. He has just enough gas to. But he's probably going to be spending it on Stalkers. Ooh, looks like a Sentry and a Zealot. The expansion is up right now, but look at that Banshee getting really close to being done. Expansion down on Zhow's front. Again, I would love it if he did transition into Marine Tank. Very, very good on this map, but he still may win with just these two Banshees.
Yeah, this is actually going to be fantastic timing. That cloak is going to end just as he reaches the lips of that base, so he might be able to do some damage, not cloaked, and as the army moves into position here behind the mineral line, then actually cloak up. But no, he's going to wait for cloak to finish. Nope. He's going to go ahead and go in there, and Cloak is going to finish just as the Protoss units make their way over. So we'll see if he's going to warp up any units. No, he's going to bring his whole army back. Cloak is almost done. It's just got seconds left, and he's going to have to get out of there, maybe waiting just a few more seconds there. But what will happen, because we still have no Robo facility going up, and we've got another Banshee heading on over.
And it looks like that probe has been picked off yet again. But Agh has absolutely no Robo going down anywhere. I'm very, very surprised that he just isn't investing in this at all. Looks like two Banshees now splitting up, going to go to opposite sides, and Agh's pretty much guaranteed to lose most of his probes in this situation.
Yeah, I mean, cloaking up on both of them. Here comes the first one. It is the damaged one that was out first. He's got quite a bit of energy. He's up to 100. All he has to do is throw on the cloak. Oh, wow, playing with fire a little bit. And now he will just wreak havoc on that probe line. Meanwhile, over here in the other corner, we've got, again, some damage done to the Banshee. However, hitting that cloak, getting in there. Now the Robo facility goes down. Too little, too late, methinks, as this Banshee has done a considerable amount of damage already. Wow.
11 kills on this Banshee. I mean, Sjow isn't even target firing anything specifically anymore, just leaving it by the mineral patches. 11 on the second one, 9 on the one in the back. And here it looks like they're both joining up forces to do as much damage as they can at the front. And in the meantime, I mean, look back in the main, all these Marines and Marauders churning out upgrades, medevacs, just an amazing follow-up by Sjow. And as he runs out of cloak, just comfortably retreats with over 30 probe kills. Wow, yeah, 16 kills apiece on those Banshees. They will go home heroes, and great timing on that cloak. Finally, this Observer comes out, and you got to imagine that while he was losing all those probes, pretty much his only production was a Robo facility and that one Observer. And meanwhile, look at this push that's coming from Sjow here. This could be the game that eliminates Agh and sends Sjow to the quarterfinals to face Blur. It's interesting to note that really Protoss early expand is extremely powerful, because even after losing 32 probes, he still has 27 left over, so almost 60 probes. At the point when Terran has around 43, but Agh is just in such terrible position after that harassment. Back again to do more damage, re-cloaking, and it looks like he will take one out, but at the same time there's the push at the front. Does he have stim yet? He does, and there's the stim getting thrown down. Zealots getting caught in the backside. No Guardian Shield gets thrown down. A couple of Zealots and Stalkers, only units there to clean up, and this medevac is helping so much in this push. Zealots also trying to rip through, and Agh may be able to hold that off, but this Banshee that has 20 kills now, still alive in the bottom corner.
Yeah, and he could just continue to use that as a point of harassment. He's going to warp in some more Stalkers back here, and meanwhile, the rest of this army will make his way back. eBay going down, and, you know, not a huge army. Oh, look at this. This is where most of his army is. He's actually going for the back for these destructible rocks. Now, again, this could be kind of scary because that choke is very tiny, and a few well-placed force fields, of course, could make it a really terrible place to fight in, so you got to be careful, but that seems to be the route he's going to take. Banshee's still over there, no additional harassment quite yet, but he did a ton of damage there. He's got a tank now, siege mode, no, not being researched, +1 weapons, and see what he does here.
I like this play a lot by Sjow. He's opening up the back door, making 2 entrances to Protoss' base, which means that Protoss is going to have to spend even longer an amount of time in this game just being a defender, which will give Sjow the opportunity to expand much, much later. Still, he has a chance to win right now with this push, but again, this is such a great long-term move, and at the same time, Sjow has this Banshee at the back, just doing a little more harassment. All the forces are going to gather to deal with this Banshee, and Sjow's just going to roll right into the main.
I love that. Just absolutely distracting your opponent, saying, oh my gosh, I've got to deal with that Banshee. Meanwhile, a huge force coming in through the back rocks. Only a handful of Zealots and Stalkers going to come over there, and half of that army will get taken out. One of the assimilators goes down, but not committing too much. Looks like Sjow is going to easily take out this army. More tanks rolling in.
Wow.
And GG.
Sjow with 3 incredibly convincing games in a row. Agh opened up with that questionable carrier rush, but, you know, I don't mind that because if it works, definitely has your opponent feeling weird for the rest of the best of 5. In Game 2, though, Agh didn't follow it up with some more standardness, made that questionable cancel Nexus decision.
Yeah.
In the last game, just a classic not observer mistake. I mean, it's so easy to get yourself all happy that you have your expansion up, you're macroing, making sure you don't die to some sort of Marine Marauder push, and one Banshee comes in and ruins your whole plan.
So we will be taking a look at the brackets here for a little bit, but you know, it's sometimes we all, even great players, they have their off days. Maybe this was one of those off days for Agh. Don't feel like he necessarily played to some of the potential that we've seen him play before, but look at this as the brackets continue to move out. We now know our second quarterfinal, and that is going to be Blur versus Dignitas Sjow. Very, very good display by Sjow, and that's going to be a TVT matchup. Of course, we're going to have InControl versus Sta Life, STA Life. That's going to be a PVT. And then Machine going up either against Desro, allegedly the best Protoss in the world, or Root QXE, depending on who wins that one. And then I'm hoping, is our next match Sorcery versus Pain User?
It might be playing right now.
Oh, okay.
It was one of the matches that we were not intended to cast because afterwards we're going to be casting those 3 quarterfinal matches: Blur versus Sjow, InControl versus Sta Life, and Slush versus the winner of Sorcery Pain User.
Awesome. I think we're going to be. I think we're going to have to hear from Sir Scoots here for the official word, but I believe, okay, he says he can't. That's okay. I believe, hopefully I'm going to be saying it right, but I believe we're taking our lunch break now.
It is.
Okay.
It's going to be a good old 30-minute break. Feel free to stand up, stretch, watch an episode of your favorite anime, because in 30 short minutes we will be back with the quarterfinal action. Everyone except QXE, which will be opening up all the matches tomorrow on as we play his octafinal, followed by his quarterfinal if he does end up winning.
Yep. So, let's go eat.
So that's it. Let's eat
go
food.
Eat. Let's eat.
Thanks
go
so
eat.
much.
Eating, fighting. I'm DJ Wheat.
I am Day9.
When we return, we will continue the action here for the EG Masters Cup. We're going into the quarterfinals. More StarCraft 2 action coming your way. Don't go away.